r/amiwrong. Deleted says. For not talking to friend group anymore after being accused of assault. So I'm a guy in a completely female friend group. Around Christmas time we usually hold a get together where we dress up in pajamas and play board games. For the past few years we often would play footsies with each other at random and joke about it later on. So here is the bad part. One of my friends invited a new girl to the party last year, let's call her H, and she was extremely awkward, so when we started playing footsies I tried to get her in the game too, so she wouldn't feel left out. The rest of the night went like normal and I haven't spoken to her again since. Fast forward to last week, my friend tells me that H told her that I assaulted her because I played footsies without asking and made her uncomfortable. My friend group tried to tell her that it's just how we play and I didn't mean anything by it, but she is adamant that I assaulted her. While I think that's absolutely ridiculous, I didn't try to fight against it, and I said that I wanted to contact her to apologize and that I didn't mean to make her uncomfortable. After I said this, the friend that told me about this just says, well, H is kinda, and then stops responding to me for hours. When she comes back to the conversation she just jumped to another topic like nothing happened. The fact that him trying to apologize and him just getting ignored infuriated me, and I decided I don't want to talk to either of these two ever again. Am I in the wrong here? Him being accused of assault and him not even being given the chance to apologize or even speak with anyone about it. Merigt says. Who used the word assault? Was that from H, the mutual friend, or you? If she said she was uncomfortable, I could understand, but if they threw in the word assault and that didn't come from you, yes, I think you have a problem. Primary_general_6211 says. You found out 5 months later she felt you assaulted her? The fact your friend dropped it that quick and changed the subject is sketchy too. You don't need this, honestly. Drop her or all if no one is supporting you. You have any other friend groups? Constant_Avenue 3370 says. Sounds like your friends agree with you? Like the situation is kind of odd, but your friend isn't taking her aside or mad, just advising that rather than pursue it further, just move on. And honestly, that's a good idea. There's no winning in this situation, but your friends are in your corner and seem to think they're the ones being off. Just move on. CMUD5386 says. Because I played footsies without asking and made her uncomfortable. What exactly did this involve? Because if you continually touched someone who was not participating and she told you to stop and you did it again, you crossed a big line and she's not wrong. If she wasn't playing, you had no reason to touch her or make her participate. Footsies has a strong sexual/flirting overtone and involving someone new who you don't know and who is not taking part. After seeing you do this already, leave them alone. r/amiwrong. Blurry_Borg says. Am I wrong for not forging my father yet? I, NB, 17, currently don't wish to forgive my father's M53 actions. For reference, nearing midterms, my father walked into one of my therapy sessions, then declared he had something to tell me. He decided to say that he could not financially afford me anymore. My aunt pays for almost everything dealing with me, and that he just couldn't do it anymore. He said that he was planning on putting me into the foster care system. After that session, I went home with a different family member. That happened right before Christmas and right before finals, leaving me distressed and not doing too well with my finals. From that point, he had threatened to call the police multiple times. He did once or twice, and a child protection service did an investigation. Where I'm at, I would have to be at an almost not alive point to be able to have them say it's not a good environment for me. During the time I've not been living with him, he has called saying he went to a psychic, telling me the psychic says I'm not non-binary and all these pretty personal identity things. He has questioned often when I'm going to come back and has sent me Little religious things, like the ones you find on Facebook. I have never been religious, he hasn't been either. I've also told him it made me uncomfortable. Currently, I'm doing a joint therapy thing with him, where we try to improve our relationship. He's explaining that his actions were induced by medications. He has threatened to send me back to my mother, saying she wasn't nice as an understatement, or into foster care in the past, when not on said medication. He's also denying the things that he said, on that day, in front of my therapist. She has the notes saying that he did, in fact, say those things. He says that his actions didn't affect my midterm grades, current grades, and also saying that I'm overreacting to a situation. He is now demanding that after my school year is over, I have to move back in with him within 2 weeks. I personally don't feel safe or happy living with him, and I technically have an option of a place to live. I feel like I'm being gaslit. For clarification, I'm not ready yet. I might be in the future. Am I wrong for not wanting to currently forgive him? Would I be wrong for not wanting to move back in? Kitania Moonshadao says, "Honey, dad is gaslighting you, and I can say I don't blame you at all for not being ready to forgive him. You need to take the steps at your own pace. No one is allowed to push you to proceed faster than you are able to do. Be strong and stand for yourself. You can do it, and your therapist seems like she will help. You have people on your side no matter what." MRSKMH08 says, "I mean, he hasn't stopped abusing you at every turn, so no. How can one even forgive something that's not over yet? Is that even possible? But aside from that, he hasn't apologized and changed his behavior. So how? If I were you, forgiveness wouldn't even be an option at this point. I don't think many people would blame you if you never forgave him. He's definitely not doing his part to be a parent. And all that noise about honor your mother and father is just a bunch of religious bullshit that keeps people in abusive situations. He chose to become a parent. You didn't choose to be born. It's his job to honor you, and he's definitely not up to the task. Sounds like your best bet is to get as far away from him as possible. He's not worthy of the dirt on your shoes, darling. I don't know where you live, but at 17, you're more likely to be emancipated and allowed to live on your own than actually placed in foster care. Maybe you should pursue being emancipated? That way, you can get away from him, but also not have to go to your mom either? Or just find somewhere else to be until you're 18. I know it's hard, but you've lived through so many hard things. You're a fighter, and you'll get through this as well. Be safe. I truly wish you the best." Steampunkho says, "Please be careful, and if you can avoid moving back in with him then that's better. He said he can't financially take care if you move out before tax season. He probably realized doing his taxes that if you aren't living with him then he can't claim you as a dependent and PPL get more money back when you have a dependent." Abandoned Rain says, "Hello there. Fellow non-binary here, I don't think you're wrong at all for how you feel, or for not forgiving him. You feel like you're being gaslight because you are. He's lying about what he said, and pretending it didn't happen when it did. And while he may be demanding you to move back in with him, you're almost an adult, and are capable of choosing where to live. Even if it has to be done by means of emancipation." Miss Pesky Face says, "Sometimes the straw that breaks the camel's back is big, sometimes it is small. But it's always an accumulation of hurts, not just the one straw that does the damage. I'm in my 30s, and don't have a relationship with my father, and I feel better off for it. He is not an evil man, but interactions with him are stressful to the point of making me sick. He makes me feel like I'm not worthy of basic human decency. I'm noticeably less anxious without having to work myself up to talking to him. I miss the kind of relationship I want with him. Not the reality of the relationship I would have." Agitated Asparagus 76 says, "He hasn't shown he deserves forgiveness. He is not mentally okay and your therapist is aware he's unsafe. Don't live with him if you can help it. Dawnzox65 says, you don't have to do therapy with your abuser. Random Boomer says, this has nothing to do with forgiving or not forgiving. Your dad is not good for you, and you need to keep your distance. Alpha Bravo Positive says, your father may have real mental health issues. It may not be about whether he deserves forgiveness so much as about what you should do to ensure your own safety and well-being. No Historian 1409 says, NB. Nobles. Seriously though, he sounds like a manipulator. Making up every excuse in the book to not take responsibility. Meds doesn't make you do stuff like that. You're not in the wrong. Change Purple 2401 says, your father doesn't accept who you are. He's actively messing with your mental health when he appears to be the one with major issues. You don't have to forgive him at all. I personally would cut him out until he respects you and your feelings and decisions. He's very unhinged and abusive. Once you are of legal age, you do whatever you want. He can't tell you what you can or can't do. Please try to get as far away from him as possible, forever. Nanceland says, forgive him? Why would you even consider it? You should cut him out of your life entirely. What good is he doing for you? He has a responsibility, as your father, to support you both financially and emotionally. He is doing neither. Find a safe place to stay and stop all contact with him. Focus on yourself, school, and building relationships with supportive family and friends. Just because he is your father does not give him a free pass to treat you like shit. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe